have a couple of big stories to discuss here on Patriots Today by Chat Sports. I am Harrison Graham. Josh McDaniels, could he be returning to Foxborough as the offensive coordinator? Also, Kayshon Boutte has been arrested. A juicy story there that you are not going to want to miss, so stay tuned for that. We'll dive into McDaniels in just a second, but perfect time to subscribe. If you want to stay on top of the latest Patriots news and rumors, hit that sub button. We got you covered with the latest news, rumors, draft free agency coverage, and a whole lot more. Sub for Patriots, dubs all off season long. Let's get it going. All right, we bring Nick Roloff, a.k.a. Rolly, into the show. Let's dive into this story, Rolly, that apparently the genesis here is of the report from Jeff Howe is that if Bill Belichick does not get the Falcons job, which it's kind of sounding like he's not going to, and Josh McDaniels wouldn't go with him because he wouldn't get the job, he could jump to the top of the Patriots offensive coordinator search potentially.
Yeah, I mean, this is all a fluid situation. Patriots have actually been a little slow to the draw in terms of OC interviews. They've requested 3, but have had only 2. We'll get to those 2 names in just a second. But yeah, McDaniels, obviously a former Patriots OC that has had success in Foxborough. Everyone has assumed that if Bill Belichick got that Atlanta Falcons job, McDaniels would be the offensive coordinator for Belichick in the ATL. But as you mentioned, Belichick is no longer a sure thing in Atlanta. He was the first person to have multiple interviews with the Falcons. Him and Arthur Blank have a pretty solid relationship, it seems like. So everyone expected Belichick was going to be the next head coach for the Falcons, but then interviews with Vrabel, a second interview with Slowick. I believe they had a second with Ben Johnson. They are doing their due diligence. And yes, Belichick's still in the mix, but it is not an absolute lock that BB is coaching in Atlanta next year.
Yeah, Adam Schefter said some momentum's been lost there. The Athletic said, kind of reported that as well. Now, again, he could get that job. I think what you're seeing is Arthur Blank is pushing for Belichick, and he's the owner. He can do what he wants. But I think other front office members are looking elsewhere, so we'll see what happens in Atlanta. But again, if Belichick doesn't get a job, then Josh McDaniels doesn't have his old horse to hitch a ride to, so he may look to returning to Foxborough if Gerard Mayo were to give him that opportunity. Now, the only interviews that have taken place, at least that we know of up to this point, Rolly, a couple of Rams assistants, Nick Caley, the tight ends coach, who spent a lot of time on New England staff, and Zach Robinson, who's been a hot name in this cycle. He's also interviewing with the Raiders. Could get some other looks as well as these other head coaching jobs start to fill out. They're going to have to fill out their staff. So, you feel like if you're going to get Zach Robinson, the longer it goes, the less likely it feels like you're going to get him. So we'll see what happens in that regard.
Yeah, I mean, these 2 are solid candidates. There's no doubt about that. Zach Robinson might be my number 1 candidate right now. I mentioned a second ago that there have had 2 interviews. They requested 3. They were not granted a 3rd, and the reason why, that would be Mr. Pitcher, who is now the new offensive coordinator in Cincinnati. They requested an interview for him, but he's staying with the Bengals to be their offensive coordinator as he's getting an upgrade. What was he, quarterback's coach?
Quarterback's coach, I think pass game coordinator. Brian Callahan, the former OC, of course, landing the Titans head coaching job. So Pitcher out of the mix. So, again, yeah, like you said, only 2 guys right now. And, maybe there's been some conversations between Mayo and Belichick Mayo and McDaniels of, hey, keep your phone nearby. Like, if the Belichick thing doesn't work out, we would have some heavy interest here.
Yeah, that could be a very real possibility. We'll talk more about McDaniels in just a second. But let us know if you would be okay with Josh McDaniels being back as Patriots or offensive coordinator, or would you want it? Type Y for yes, type N for no. I'll say this. I'm okay with it. I think it would be better to go outside of the normal regime in New England. But listen, he's had a steady track record of developing young quarterbacks, a.k.a. Mac Jones. So I would trust him to help out and get the most out of whatever rookie quarterback New England potentially drafts at number 3.
Yeah, my personal just spin on this is, I don't think it's the worst idea I've ever heard. This is how I view it. You're moving on from your legendary quarter-century head coach in Bill Belichick. You're already promoting an insider in Gerard Mayo. You're very likely promoting an insider to defensive coordinator. You're likely promoting an insider to GM. I would like something in a notable position to be from outside the organization. If you're going to change, then change. If you just promote internal guys or bring back McDaniels, the only thing you're changing is head coach. So to me, you're almost saying Belichick and Belichick alone was the major problem. And look, I think Belichick had his faults, no doubt, but why not bring some new ideas in here? That would be my spin on it. Now, if this is true, Rolly, that there's a report out there that their offensive coordinator job is not highly coveted per Jeff Howe, okay, fine, but that shouldn't just mean like, well, we just have to call our old pal Josh McDaniels to take this job either. Again, I don't think it's the worst idea. He's obviously had a lot of success in New England, but I would like to see something in a different direction personally.
No, I don't disagree with you there, Harrison, but if we're taking this at face value where, well, not a lot of people want to go to New England, which to me, I don't really agree with that because you're going to likely have a rookie quarterback that you can get your hands on and potentially grow. You also have a team that is already basically set in Gerard Mayo that they're going to spend big in free agency, and they know they have to with $80+ million in cap space once J.C. Jackson gets cut inevitably. So I do think it's a job that people should want, but if no one does want it and it ends up going back to McDaniels, I will say there has been worse options out there because the last time Josh McDaniels ran a Patriots offense and called plays was in 2021. That was also the last time the Patriots made the playoffs. Yeah, that game didn't go too well against Buffalo, but the offense was also pretty good. They were top 10 in points per game, top half in yards per game, top half in pass yards per game, and then top 10 in both rushing yards per game and red zone touchdown percentage. McDaniels got the best and most out of Mac Jones as a rookie and that entire offense. There would be worse options. I know people are going to say McDaniels like this is horrible because of his Raiders stint, but he's still, in my opinion, a good OC.
Yeah, again, I'm not even saying he's a bad OC. I just want new blood. That's my main angle here. But sure, if you interview 5 outsiders and none of them take the job, like yes, like I get that. But if this is we're interviewing Nick Caley, who, by the way, a guy who was on your staff for a long time, and Zach Robinson, and you can't get Robinson, and then you pivot to McDaniel straight from there. To me, it's like, is that really a search? Like, I just don't like. The Falcons have interviewed 14 head coaches. You can't interview 5 coordinator candidates. Hopefully, they will interview some more, but that's my main thing. And here's my thing too: the whole this isn't an attractive job. To me, in today's NFL, where when teams are hiring a head coach, they typically want to go offense. What is the fastest track to becoming a head coach? Grooming a young quarterback. Well, you're about to have your hands on one in New England. So to me, that's a pretty damn appealing situation. Now, sure, maybe it's not as appealing as the Bears, who won 7 games last year and have the number 1 pick, but would you rather be the OC in New England or whoever Seattle's new head coach has to hire as an offensive coordinator and you're handed Geno Smith? Yeah. I'd rather take my chances on a young quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. And I think something that's interesting is, like, would McDaniels come back and potentially want to keep Mac Jones? I know that
you had to go there, Rolly.
I did have to go there because when you look at Mac Jones's season, and this was his rookie season, by the way, 2021. This is with Josh McDaniels. Excuse my typo. I'm fixing that now. 3,801 yards, not 2,000. He technically was a Pro Bowl alternate. Mac Jones and the Patriots, they made the playoffs. Like, I mentioned all those offensive stats. Like, I don't think McDaniels, if he came back, would want to keep Mac Jones. But I do think it's not a 0% chance that Mac Jones would be the starting quarterback under Josh McDaniels. Why? Well, because they've worked together in the past and they have had success. And if McDaniels did come back, you could argue maybe there is a chance of MHJ at 3, and then you keep Mac and try to bring him back to what he was under McDaniels in 2021.
See, this is just like Patriots fans. I'm talking to you diehards especially. You bring back McDaniels and Mac Jones. What is the ceiling of this team?
I think 10 and 7. I think it would be
a wild card team. That's your absolute ceiling.
It would be what it was when Mac Jones.
And that would be kind of a miracle, if we're being honest. You can't do that. Like, guys, it's time to turn the page. Like, Go get a different OC. Reset at quarterback. Yes, you're lucky. The defense is in a good spot. Usually when you hire a head coach, both sides of the football stink. That's not the case. Like, the defense is pretty good. But let's get some new ideas in here offensively. Let's get a new quarterback, and let's start the rebuilding process on that side of the football. I just like these Band-Aids of, oh, we know Josh McDaniels. He got the best out of Mac Jones 3 years ago. I'm not a fan of that idea at all, but we'll see what ends up happening. All right, guys, get yourself a Patriots hat right now. Chatsports.com/Pats hats down in the comments section below is where you can find that link. Flat bills, beanies, curved bills, mesh hats, snapbacks, whatever you're looking for, we got you covered. Chatsports.com/Pats hats. Check them out today and pick up a Patriots lid. All right, Rolly, this is what really the people have come here for today. Kayshon Boutte has been arrested for gambling as a minor, and this number that's being reported, 8,900 bets while using a fake account at LSU while he was underage, which would be under the age of 21. Some of this occurred during 2022, his last season playing there. And right before we started filming this video, a new tweet emerged. We didn't put it in the show. Is that he put together a parlay that included himself scoring and hitting an over-under on yardage. I mean, you could go a million ways with the opinions here. This is a legendary story.
I mean, it's something. Kayshon Boutte obviously had a also mysterious finish to his LSU tenure, which, listen, this guy was a top 3-round talent, I think, in the NFL draft. And you saw New England pick him in the 6th round. And I think he fell those 3 rounds because of the cloud surrounding Boutte. You had that weird situation with the assistant coach. Like, you didn't know what was going on around Kayshon Boutte, but you knew the talent was there. And I do want to make a point of this, too, by the way, Harrison, is that everything that happened with Boutte happened before he was a member of the New England Patriots.
At least in this story.
At least as of now, maybe some things can emerge, but everything that has troubled him in the legal system has been when he was before a member of the New England Patriots. And it's kind of a bummer, too, because he didn't play much his rookie year, but, like, there was some promise. Like, he did some nice things in the preseason. He played a lot in the Patriots' first game of the season against the Eagles, and then really was never seen again. So it's an interesting situation.
I will say this, and yes, this all stems from LSU, underage, fake username account, all that stuff. I do wonder, though, and I'm not going to, like, innocent till proven guilty, all that stuff. I do wonder how likely it is for one to go from almost 9,000 bets in a couple of years to he's in the NFL now. I haven't placed a single bet since I've been drafted.
I will say this, Harrison.
I know the league educates players on you can't do that and stuff.
No, I think you're allowed to bet, just not on the NFL.
Yeah, so not on the NFL.
As long as he's not in the Patriots facilities when he's placing these bets, he can bet all he wants at his house, in his apartment, on college football, the NBA, the MLB, the NHL, as long as it's not betting on
and maybe
football.
That's what he's doing. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I would have to go from that. But, I mean, Boutte, I don't really have him on this depth chart right now. That's a mess up on me.
You don't have the arrested category?
Yeah, I don't have the arrested one on him. But these would be your top 6. You do have a free agent to be in Kendrick Bourne and Jalen Reagor as well. I would like to see both of them come back on cheap deals, especially if you're moving off of Devontae Parker or Juju Smith-Schuster. And to me, the biggest question surrounding this entire situation is, what will Gerard Mayo do? This might be his first tough decision as Patriots head coach. Does he just straight up, well, I guess he would have to also control personnel in this situation as well, but just straight up cut Kayshon Boutte?
I mean, he's a fringe roster guy, right? Like, if you don't want to deal with the headache, you might just cut him. I mean, let's be honest.
It's the first real decision he has to make, and someone who's really preached about accountability and leadership in his initial speakings to the media. Very interesting to see what he does here.
Yeah, look, I mean, if you talk to him and you feel good that he hasn't, been gambling, especially on the NFL since he's been here, then yeah, I mean, I don't really have a huge problem with it. Like, I personally think, like, the NFL, like, some of this stuff is, it's almost too strict at times. I understand why these rules are in place, but at the end of the day, like if it comes out he's betting on NFL games and he gets suspended, like I don't think you're keeping him at that point. Like it's not like, well, Matt Judon suspended 6 games. We're obviously going to keep that guy. I don't think Kayshon Boutte is in that level of player. So we'll see what happens, where it goes from here. What do you guys think? Will Boutte be on the Patriots roster in 2024, type on or off? And look, we should make this clear too. It's not like he wasn't going to have to earn a roster spot. Like, I don't think anyone out there is thinking before this story came out, Kayshon Boutte is a lock to be on the 53 next year. Like, he's going to have to earn a spot regardless. So this story probably doesn't help his cause. Again, if there's more reporting on it, we will certainly keep you guys in the loop. We'll have more news and rumors to discuss moving forward, so subscribe. We'll see you then.